Hello everyone, RocksBox90 here, back with some more Eldritch Moon spoilers. Apologies for missing yesterday's spoilers. It was July 4th, which in America is Independence Day, and thus is a day to be off from work, go out, enjoy fireworks if you can, and I decided to get outside and totally forgot the spoilers continued despite me going out and having a good time. So we're going to pick up and try to get through everything. There's been a ton of stuff over the last few days, so let's see what we can do. Summary Dismissal is more or less a Mind Break Trap time stop. It exiles all other spells and counters all abilities, which allows you to prevent creatures that use casting. When you cast this creature, something happens, which usually get around counter spells. This is a counter spell that does it. At 4 mana, I think it's quite reasonable. Hits a lot of effects. I think it has potential even outside of a standard field with Eldrazi. It also deals with Storm. Solid card. Spirit of the Hunt, 3 for a 3/3 flash. When it enters the battlefield, each other creature you control, it's a wolf, gets 0+3 until the turn. So mostly this is 3 for a 3/3 flash, which is solid powerhouse limited card that constructed potential. I don't think it's going to get there because werewolves more or less are never that good to get there, but very solid limited card and a good wolf rare. Providence, 7 for a sorcery. Reveal this card in your opening hand. If you do, your life total starts at 26, and then your life total becomes 26 when you cast it. This is a fascinating card for anyone who plays Hearthstone. There are many cards, Reno Jackson being one, Tree of Life being one, if anybody plays that, but effectively these ways if your opponent brings your life down or you bring your own life down significantly low, having a card at 6-7 mana to be able to completely reset your life total is powerful. In Magic, I wouldn't say it's game breaking by any means, but it's going to be fun for Commander, and depending on how powerful a control or tempo deck you're working on, this kind of card might be a good one of. Then we have Ishkana Graph Widow, which is a 5 for 3/5 legendary spider. I guess they decided, hey, Commander players, you don't have spider commanders, spider tribal, so we're going to make this happen. Reach, Delirium. Enters the battlefield. If you have Delirium, you get 3/1/2 spiders, and then 7, target opponent loses 1 life for each other spider you control. So I don't really, it's kind of a fun card. Obviously, limited, this card is excellent. Seriously doubt it's going to get there in Constructed Standard. But in Commander, if there are enough spiders and you really have the inkling, this could be pretty powerful. Especially if you can build up and duplicate your tokens. Can do a lot of damage, and realize it's not a tap effect. You can do this as many times as you have the mana. So mono green ramp, hey, it's definitely doable. Solid card. Then we have United Resistance, which is one of the best red burn spells in a while. 3 with escalate 1 of any color, which is important, it's colorless. Choose one or both, or generic I should say. Target player, discards all cards into her hand, then draws that many cards. Allows you to cycle out if you're running out of cards, or if your hand is has a lot of land in it. It also lets you enact all your madness cards. It also can hit your opponent. If your opponent's not running madness and you see that they've set themselves up with a good hand, they're a control style deck, boom, you wipe their hand down and reset their entire field. They don't know what to do. It also does 4 damage to a creature or 3 damage to an opponent, which means for 3 mana plus 1, 2 of these effects is solid. 3 mana plus 2, these are excellent effects all around. Very solid spell. And also, this is Chandra being an absolute badass in this artwork. I'll take it. Then we have Nephalia Academy. If spell or ability your opponent controls cause you to discard a card, you may reveal that card and put it on top of your library instead. So prevent if your opponent has many discard effects. And then, of course, it adds 1. Whatever. Oath of Liliana. I'll keep watch. Happy now? I don't know, but that's awesome flavor text. 3. Yeah, she really wants to be involved in this Gatewatch thing, guys. She's absolutely full of enthusiasm. 3 for a legendary enchantment. Enters the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices a creature. It's 3 for a sacrifice spell. Yes, it's not targeted, but still solid. Beginning of each end step, if a planeswalker enters the battlefield under your control, you get a 2/2 black zombie. 3 mana, very reasonable. Good card, good flavor. Liliana the Last Hope. I'm thrilled that they used the new art. I'm not so thrilled that she's okay. She's 3 for 3. Allows a removal effect on her +1. Her -2 fills Delirium. Her -7 lets you get lots of zombies. The problem with 3 mana planeswalkers is that they're inevitably good, but they're very rarely excellent. Liliana the Veil is way more powerful than this Liliana. But that's not to say this one's not going to be great. I definitely think she's constructed viable. She's a limited powerhouse. But I don't see her breaking much into Eternal formats. Now, I could be completely wrong. I'm probably going to want one just for the artwork. but I don't see her getting there. Then we have Deploy the Gatewatch, Mythic, 6 mana sorcery, look at the top 7 cards, put up to 2 Planeswalker cards onto the battlefield, put the rest in the bottom at random order. They tried to compare this card to Collective Company. It's not an instant speed spell. It also hits only Planeswalkers, which means even if you make Super Friends deck, this is going to be hard to pull off. It's really a commander card for Super Friends. I just can't quite see it making it in Standard, but it's a flavor win. I'll say that, it's a flavor win. Incinerate Flow, 2 or 3 damage to a creature or player, so it's more or less Incinerate effect. Good removal, more or less. Good burn, more or less. Crypt Breaker, 1 for 1/1, lets you have a madness outlet that makes creatures, and then lets you draw cards off of black. Very solid card, especially for a 1-drop. I like having the flexibility. Then we got Lashweed Lurker. We've seen this effect before. It's just pasted onto Eldrazi, bouncing. We've seen this even recently in Khans of Tarkir. I think for a 7 emerge, it's quite reasonable. This will end up being probably 4 mana for itself, and then the effect, it's very reasonable. Mercurial Geist is not very good. It's too much mana to invest too quickly, and it reminds me of We Dragonauts, but not as good. Morn Willow, 3/2 for 3 with haste, and I like how it's very effective for aggressive decks, and since black-green is really a thing in this set, as we'll see in a second, solid card. Ride Down, good, limited removal. Grim Flayer is a pseudo-Tarmogoyf that has no real flavor at all, but it's 2 for a 2/2 with Trample. It has a top effect, lets you filter your top 3 cards, and then if you have Delirium, it's a 4/4 for 2 Trample. Seems very solid for that kind of deck, but I don't really see it getting much play out of there. It's just so narrow and has no flavor. Doesn't make my list. Mirrorwing Dragon is 5 for a 4/5 flying. Now this is a sick card, 1, because the art is awesome, but 2, because whenever a player casts an instant or sorcery that targets only it, that player copies that spell for each other creature he or she controls, and they each get targeted. Now the reason this is powerful is because it's whenever any player, it hits their creature. So if you pump this dragon, it helps your whole team. If your opponent tries to remove this dragon, it destroys their whole team. I mean, if it's a good removal spell. This makes this card very hard to remove, very hard to deal with. It's also very well costed, 5 for a 4/5 flying. It also deals with Languish, it deals with Avacyn, it deals with so many cards, even in a standard environment. This is a very good red mythic. I'm in shock. I'm shocked. I just have to move on to Mind's Dilation, which is, I don't know, it's 7 for an enchantment. Whenever an opponent casts the first spell each turn, that player exiles the top card library, and you can play it for free. It's instant speed also, realize, whatever you want to play. This means that whenever your opponent is going to do something, they have to take into account that you can get something from them for free that could disrupt what they're doing and or win you the game. Makes it a very difficult choice. Now, it's way outcosted for any kind of limited environment and probably even constructed, but for Commander players, this is a dream come true. Very interestingly designed card. I know they're concerned about making things like Omniscience, and anytime they make these super powerful blue mythics, it tends to break formats and cause problems. I don't think this one will, but it's well designed and will likely be a toolkit kind of card you want to build around. Falconwrath Reaver, it's generic, whatever, vampire, limited card. Permeating Mask, 1 for 1/3. Whenever it deals combat damage to a creature, that creature becomes a copy. Seems really annoying, really annoying, especially with 3 toughness. But I'm not quite sure where it would see play. Definitely unlimited. I don't know if it's going to be quite good enough for standard environment. So, whoa, oh my god, that's a lot of spoilers. But let me know what you guys think about our bunch of Mythics tonight. Great cards all around. Love to hear your thoughts down below. If you haven't gotten into the 15,000 subscriber giveaway, we have 2 videos up so far out of 4. Third one is in progress right now, so stay tuned. As always, Roxybox90 signing out. I'll see you guys next time.